Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and good morning to all my lovely students. This is your science teacher, Ms. Sunaira, and today we are back with another lecture. So, class, as you know that yesterday we started one of the chapter of final term that is going to be the last chapter, and the name of the chapter is Safety and First Aid. The name of the chapter is Safety and First Aid. This chapter is our chapter number 5 and it is on page number 42. You can take out your book, you can open your book and turn it, okay? Do not just turn it, okay? So, before starting the lecture, we must know the title of this chapter, the name of this chapter, what does it mean? So, this chapter is having two of the words like safety and first aid, right? So, when we talk about the safety is a kind of simple English word that means protection, prevention. Okay, so yesterday, as we discussed, that we should be very careful, because most of the accidents happen when we are not careful, when we show irresponsibility. Many of the accidents can be happened. Okay, so what does this word mean? This word simply means the protection, the prevention. We should prevent ourselves from getting any of the injury. Okay, so let's go ahead. As I told you yesterday, most of the accidents happen when we are not careful, when we do not pay attention on many of the things. So we must be careful, we must be responsible. Then we took some of the examples. I gave you the example of medicines, that medicines are good for us, they are recommended by doctors, and we should take the medicines according to the recommendation of the doctor. Okay, we should be very careful while taking the proper quantity. Okay, while proper timings, while looking at the proper timing. Okay, so as I told you in the previous slide, that most of the accidents happen when we are not careful. When we are irresponsible, when we are not careful, we can take it in excessive amount. Or the children at our home can reach to the medicines and they can take it because they do not know about it. They can take it in excessive amount, which can harm them. Okay, so if we are not careful at our home, so the accidents can be happened. Accidents do not means the road accidents just. Okay, it may be like any, like we use this word for hadsa, that can be happen at homes, anywhere. Another example we took for children, that if we do not pay attention, the children, the kids at our home, they can go to the switch, they can just uh, they can come to the contact with the plugs, they can get electrocution, which can cause their deaths as well. Okay, so why these kind of accidents happen? When the parents are not careful, okay, when they do not pay attention on their kids. Another example is here regarding defective electrical gadget. We must check our electrical gadget time by time, because if there is any defect, it can cause the fire. Now here comes another example in front of you, that is of sharp things like knife, scissors, cutters. These kind of things are important for our home chores. We use it for different purposes. But if we are not careful, so children at our home can go to these kind of things. They can use it. They do not know how to use it. So if they want to play with these kind of things, of course they will get hurt. Okay, so this is how we have seen that we must be careful, we must be responsible at our home, in at different places. When we are on the road, we should be careful for the traffic signals, traffic lights, because these are the things prevent which can prevent us from getting accidents. Plus, the chances of accidents can be reduced if we are careful. Then the second word is first aid. First aid is basically the very first step that we should take after any injury. In safety, what we were doing, we were preventing ourselves. Okay, But accidents can be happen after the prevention, after the protection as well. So once the injury has happened, the injury has been happened, or the accident has been happened. So the very first step we would prefer to do or take, that would be first aid. As I told you yesterday, that if we get the cut on our finger while cutting vegetable, fruit, or anything, okay, if we get the cut, so our first step would be pressing that wound, pressing that cut, so there should not be blood loss. Okay, so what is the first aid here? The first aid here is pressing the finger, not going to find the first aid box and just taking out the bandage from that. Okay, so please be just consider these words. These are very simple. What is safety and first aid? Afterwards, we just learned the book pages. Okay, we read this page in which we saw two different conditions of traffic. Of course, the situation one is much, much, much better than the situation two, because in situation one, people are following the traffic rules. They are just paying attention to the proper lanes on the roads. Okay, so there is no need to read it again. Again, we have done it yesterday. Then we saw that most of the accidents happen due to fire. Fire cannot be burned only by matchstick or slender explosion. It can be there by number of the reasons. As I have shown you the picture on previous slide, that defective electrical gadget can cause the great fire, and this fire even can catch your house. Okay, sometimes if we are not careful and the wires are naked, uh, if you have seen, if you have noticed that the wires that we use are covered with rubber covering, that is very important. That is not for decoration, that is for safety, that is for protection, that is for prevention. Okay, so if we use the naked wire, it means we are like, this is not good for us because it can cause the accident. Okay, because in the naked wires current flows, so we can get the electrocution by using the naked wires. Here is again, I have taken that picture which I have shown you previously. That is of defective electrical gadget here. It is the naked wire. You can see here that the wires are covered half. You can see that it is covered with black and red rubber covering. And this one portion, you can observe here that this one is naked. This is dangerous for us. Okay, so what do? We try to utilize these type of wires which are not having plugs. We try to utilize it, we try to use it. Okay, we can use it, we can, if we are careful, there would be no harm. But if we are not careful, if we touch this one portion of this wire, it can, we can get the electrocution, we can get the current. Then we learned about this paragraph that the fire can be occurred, and the kerosene stove should not be kept on the floor at all. All the clothes are not good to wear in the kitchens. For example, the nylon cloths. Nylon is the name of fabric stuff like lawn and cotton. Okay, so nylon cloths should not be worn in kitchens at all. Why? Because they can catch the fire very easily as compared to other fabrics. Okay, so these kind of things can be there. Then we learned about the firecrackers. Okay, firecrackers that we use, usually children just celebrate Shabe Barat in different festivals by using firecrackers. It is not important, it is not necessary that all the time the firecracker would go up. It can go to the sides as well. It can hit to any of the object and that object can get the fire. Then we saw that what makes the fire to keep burning, that is air. This is very important point for everyone. Everybody should know this point on the fingertip, that fire needs air to keep burning. Fire needs air to keep burning. Fire needs air to keep burning. So if we want to extinguish the fire, so basically we need to cut down the air supply. We can cut down the air supply by many ways, like we can throw the mud, we can throw the sand, we can pour the water, we can use the water, okay? Because all these things can cut the air supply, and we know that fire needs air to keep burning. So if we would cut the air supply, there would be no fire, or fire would be stopped. Then we learned that all the fires are not same. For example, if we take the example of a fire caused by the petrol or electricity, these in these conditions we are not supposed to use water. In these two conditions we are not supposed to use water. Okay, so all the that depends on the cause of the fire, that how the fire has been caused. According to that, we would take our first aid. Okay, so let's go ahead. Then we saw that if the person of the clothes of person catch the fire, what we need to do, we need to roll down that person into blanket or rug. Okay, because this will help in cutting off the supply of air. Okay, but remember this thing, do not just leave the person in that covering, because he is already burned. Okay, his skin is already burned. So this blanket or the rug which we have wrapped over the person would not allow his body to get cooled or cool down. Okay, so we need to remove it as soon as possible. Okay, as I told you that the first aid, when a person gets injured, a nurse and a doctor may not be immediately available. So the first aid is the care. I want everyone to underline this line. I think you have done yesterday. First aid is the care given to the injured person or a patient before a doctor and nurse can reach to him. Okay, so proper first aid prevent the injury from getting worse. It is therefore important for all of us to know how to give first aid in different kinds of accidents. Different kinds of accidents are required. Different kinds of accidents require different kinds of first aid. Okay, then we saw that if the skin is burned, so if no blisters are formed, we do not need to go to the doctor. Okay, if there is a small burn that can be easily treated at home, so we do not need to go to the doctor. What we should do, we should wash that burn immediately with cold water. With cold water. Okay, we are not supposed to wash it with warm water. Suppose if we consider that with the help of warm water we can kill the germs. No, we are not supposed to use warm water here, because our skin is already burning. It needs to cool down. So we need to use what? We need to use the cold water. Okay, and if the blisters are formed, then we need to apply the tubes recommended by doctors, and we can go to the doctors. Okay, what are the blisters I told you yesterday? Like you can see that the bubbles filled with like watery solution, pani ke chale, that we call it as pani wale chale, that has been that can cause by the burn. Okay, so these are called as blisters. If no blisters, no tension, we can wash it simply with the cold water. If the blisters are formed, it means that or that burn can get infected as well. Okay, we need to clean it time by time. We need take a recommendation by doctor, or the tube or the medicines we should use. Then here we saw the same thing we are discussing right now. In case of the big burns, take the patient to doctor at once. Give the patient plenty of water to drink. Why? Do you know one thing? This is very interesting to know, that our skin is protecting the water inside. Okay, you know that when we are suffering from diarrhea or vomiting, there is dehydration. Okay, in our body there is dehydration, so doctors recommend us to drink a lot of water. Likewise, our body is as a kind of shield. It is a kind of protective covering which is protecting the water inside our body. So if the skin is removed, it means the water is going to be lost. So we need to prevent the water. Of course, we cannot just bring the new skin at once. So we need to take plenty of water. Okay, class. So this was all about the burning accidents or the accidents caused by fire. Okay. Now let's learn about some other injuries. So, class, what will you do in minor injuries? If you're having a simple cut or any minor injury, will you go to the doctor? No, you will not prefer to go to the doctor if the wounds are minor, if the injuries are minor. So, what should we do in such case? First of all, we should wash the hand. If we are having the injury on the hand, so we should wash the hand with the help of soap. Okay, why this is important? This is important because by doing this we can remove the germs on our injury or on our wound. If the germs are there, by washing the hands with soap we can remove it, as we are recommended to use the soap for washing the hand in such case of coronavirus. Because likewise we can by doing this we can get rid of many of the germs on our skin, either bacteria or viruses. Afterwards, it would be better, it would be good to use any antiseptic solution. Antiseptic solution is a solution that helps to kill the bacteria or the viruses or the germs. Everybody knows, as you watch the advertisements on TV, Dettol is one of the best antiseptic solution. So you can use it on your wound. This will also help to clean your wound, plus it will kill down all the germs on your wound. If even a minor wound is not treated well, it can get infection. After infection we need to go to doctor, so it would be better that our initial steps should be better, our first aid should be better in case of minor injuries. Okay. Okay, there is another way. If you're having a cut and you see that your wound is bleeding a lot, you can just place an ice pack on the wounded area. This will help down the clotting of the blood. Do you know what is the clotting of blood? I'm giving you the slight review of it because this is not a topic which we should remember in detail or we should learn in detail. So, beta, simply the clotting means, like if we are having a cut or wound, if our wound is bleeding, so after a time that blood gets frozen, like we call it as khoon ka jam jana on that wound. Okay, this is called clotting, and this is a very special capability that Allah has given to us. Okay, that our blood has the capability to get frozen on the wound if the wounds are minor. Okay, so we can, if it is no if the wound is continuously bleeding, what is another step we should take? The other step should be, we should place an ice pack on the wounded area, or we can have bandage. These kind of things are okay. So, okay, beta. So, you can treat your wounds by simple bandage, Saniplast, or bandage you might be having at home. So these kind of minor injuries can be treated at home easily without the help of any doctor and nurse. Okay, so here is the same paragraph which I have told you on the previous slide. All the situations are written over here, that we should just wash our hand with the help of soap. Then we can apply any antiseptic solution over that, like Dettol. Okay, we can clean our wound time to time. We can have the ice on the wound if there is a lot of bleeding. Okay, this will help down. This will help bleeding to be stopped. Okay, then we can cover our wound with the plaster or the bandage. Okay, class, on this page, your next page is about deep wounds that require a doctor. Okay, minor wounds can be treated at home. These are the deep wounds. If the wound is deep, the patient should be taken to doctor after cleaning the wound. He may require injection to prevent the dangerous disease called tetanus. This is a word, many of the students are aware of this word. Tetanus is a name of disease which can be treated by injection given by doctor. Okay, if the wounds are deep, I'm gonna show you on the next slide. Afterwards, there is another paragraph in which we can see that many of the disease can be caused by the animal bite, like dogs, monkeys, and other animals as well. And this disease is called as rabies. Everybody knows about it, I know. Everybody must have heard this word. Okay, so the animals like dogs, monkeys, and other animals, they are very dangerous. Why? Because their bite can cause a dangerous disease named as rabies. So the person should be immediately taken to the doctor, and if the doctor is not available, we can wash the wound. Okay, we should wash it with the soap and apply the antiseptic over that. Okay, then take him to the doctor. Now, beta, why the name is tetanus? The disease is given the name as tetanus because it is caused by the bacteria named as Tetanus bacillus. Okay, the name of the bacteria is Tetanus bacillus. It causes a disease named as tetanus. So, if we are having deep wounds, we must have the injection for that. We must treat it as soon as possible. Okay, because if it is not treated in 24 hours, there is no need to get injection after 24 hours, because this bacteria can work within 24 hours. Once it becomes able to infect you, it will infect you after the injection as well. So it is very important, in the case of deep wounds, we should take that injection which prevent us from tetanus within 24 hours. Okay. Afterwards, we learned about another disease caused by the animal bite. Usually, the dog bite can cause the rabies. That is the name of disease, and it is given the name as, because it is caused by the virus named as rabies virus. Tetanus was caused by bacteria, and this is caused by virus. The bite of poisonous snakes such as cobra and krait can cause death. A tight bandage just above the wound, between the wound and the heart, slows down the spread of the poison by reducing blood flow to the wound. The patient should be taken, then be rushed to the doctor. I'm going to show you a situation over here, that if there is a snake bite, what should be the first aid? Of course, doctors are not at our home. It will take time to reach the doctor. So, what should be the first step we should take? The first step should be just tie a tight bandage between the wound and the heart, because we know that our heart supplies the blood to the body. If the blood over here, which has gotten the poisonous here, it will go to the heart, then that poisonous blood will go throughout the body, and it can cause the immediate death. So in case of such injury, what is the first step we should take? The first step should be taken by by tying the tight bandage between the wound or the snake bite and the heart. Okay, I told you the reason that why snakes usually bite on the legs. Okay, this is not our topic, so that is why I'm not gonna discuss over here. But if you remember, I told you a reason for that. Okay, so what we have seen up till now, we have seen that in minor wounds, what should we do in deep wounds, what should we do? We should rush to the doctors. There can be doctors can recommend for stitching, and different medicines can be provided by doctors. Then we saw that tetanus injection is very important to prevent ourselves from the disease caused tetanus, right? Afterwards, we saw the rabies that is caused by the animal bites like monkeys, dogs. Okay, and then we saw that how we should treat the wound caused by the snake bite, because cobra and crate, these kind of snakes are death causing snakes because their poisonous is really, really, really dangerous. If the broken bones and okay, and the sprains. What is the sprain we are going to discuss? Okay, you are familiar with broken bones. There is extreme, there is a severe pain if the bone is broken. Broken bone and fractured bone are two different situations. I'm going to show you on the next slide over here. Okay, beta. Before that, I'm going to show you this. Yes, here is a bone in front of you. Here you can see that if there is a slight scratch kind of thing on the bone, it can be called as fractured bone, but the bone can be broken as well. Well, in these two cases, there is a severe pain, okay, especially in the broken bone. And this on this slide, you might have seen this picture on internet or on TV. You might have seen on in the advertisement. But I see sprain. Okay, we are familiar with the broken bone and the fractured bone. What is a sprain? Sprain is like swelling up of the joints, like we call it as jodon ka dard, joints. If the joints get swell, so if the joints get swollen, so it means this can be called as sprain. Okay, what is sprain? That is not the broken bone, that is like swelling up of joints and fractured bone and broken bone. In such case, we are not recommended to move the if you are having the broken bone in the hand or in the leg, doctors recommend us not to move the hand or leg. Okay, so in different situations, in different accidents, in different problems, there are different first aid. Okay, so these are like very important points to remember. You can read it out from your book. Okay, so guys, I want everyone to be active now. Have you copied down reasons and name these? Tell me in the chat box. Class, yesterday in the class I told you several of the times that you need to copy down reasons and name these in the copy. Okay, as we did in the chapter of investigating matter. No, the chapter sound. Yes, you were given homework to copy down reasons and name these. Answers are answers would be done in class, and you were given homework to copy down reasons and name these. Now see, many of the students were saying, Miss, I was absent. But why you were absent? You should not be absent yesterday. And if you were absent yesterday, the link was given to you. You could watch the lecture afterwards. This is not good. So those who haven't done it, please do copy down the reasons and name these in your copy one. If your copy one is not if that is filled or no pages are left, so you can do it in copy two as well. There's no restriction. Okay, you can do it in any of the copy. So I want someone to read out reason number one. Those who want to read out reason number one, raise your hand. Hurry up. Okay, Alina, read out reason number one.
Most accidents happen when we are not careful.
So, reason number one is most of the accidents happen when we are not careful. Now, you need to write the answer yes. I want everyone to switch on the cameras. And I want those students who have just copied down reasons and named these, I want them to copy down the answer of reason number 1. That is, most of the accidents happen when we are not careful. Yes, we should be careful from fire, sharp knife, and electrical appliances. Yes, we should be careful from fire, sharp knife, electrical appliances. Reason number 2. Those who want to read out reason number 2, raise your hand. Khizra, read out reason number 2.
Medicines should be kept out of reach of children.
Medicines should be kept out of children or out of reach of children. Yes. Write down the answer. Yes, because it can be dangerous to them if taken in excess amount. Okay, so I'm going to show you the reason number 1, and don't worry, the lecture would be available for you. Okay, so reason number 1 was most of the accidents happen when we are not careful, and the answer is yes, we should be careful from fire, sharp knife, and electrical appliances. Then there is second one reason, that is medicine should be kept out of reach of children, and the answer is yes, because it can be dangerous to them if taken in excess amount. Beta, you need to do
11:38.
you need to do in copy, okay? The students who are asking me that either these should be done in copy or book, beta, reasons and name, this should be done in your copy, okay? In chapter safety and first aid, we do not have any written work, but reasons and name this just, okay? No question answers. Yes, beta.
Class.
Khizra, you're saying something?
No, miss.
Okay. Yes, Hassan. Sayyid Muhammad Hassan.
Yes, miss.
Yes, beta, read out the third one reason.
The plastic covering over an electrical wire is only for decoration. It does not have any use.
Okay, beta. So we do not have much time. The class can be ended anytime, so you do not need to be worried about that. Okay, because we will continue the lecture.
Miss, it's false.
Yes, it's false. The plastic covering of electrical wire is not for decoration.